This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good. Okay, we have 3 more minutes. Let's give time for the team to join. Okay, hello all. Hey guys, thanks for joining. Let's give a minute as team is joining. I can see Shivan, Stephen, Vinay, Gangesh is there. Hey Gangesh, thanks for joining.
Hi, Shri.
Hi, Sriram.
Hey, good. Welcome. I know today is a crazy day with application, so we have to jump application to application, right? So this we call the risk mitigation plan, right? In project management. So we have a strategy of one goes down, how to bring the next one up. So that's what happened today. I know it's a kind of thing. I know some of you time would have been blocked as you want to use the time in some other place. Anyway, first of all, thanks for everyone joining here. I'm just trying to pull up my cam and share the screen, and we'll kickstart as people joining in. Okay, quickly, you can see me, you can hear me, and you can see the screen as well. I believe all the three are good for you.
Yes, we can do. Yep.
Perfect. Let's kickstart. I know I have started this session a few minutes back where I explained few slides of information, but again it was up and down. So what we'll do is I will start fresh as if nothing has happened. I'm going to start. So if you have listened to the session already for some time, you have to predict as if, okay, I didn't listen, I'm listening for the first time, right? So let's do this case. I'm going to talk about scaled agile, that is SAFe 5.0, and I'm going to expand a few slides of information and a couple of videos are there to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the certification, the value of the certification, how to approach the certification, right? What are the number of questions, how many hours it will take, and what's the role you will play after completing the certificate in the organization. That's very vital, isn't it? As most of us would be with some amount of experience now, you don't know whether you want to be a scrum master, you want to be a team member, you want to be a manager, portfolio manager, director, CEO of a company. Man, where I will fit in after reading this? So that's a question many have. So I'll try to cover those questions and cover exam patterns. And again, primarily, why SAFe is needed? Why not something else in the market? Right, it's always a question, right? If there is a online purchase website, is an online e-card site is there, we also look for another alternate option. Why can't we do that? So let's see alternate options also on some of the videos, and we start this learning process. Once again, thanks to everyone for joining here, and who have joined here already. Let's listen this, and the people who will listen on the YouTube later on, welcome and thanks for listening to these videos. It's a starting program where we're going to talk about SAFe and its basics and its importance. And going forward, we're going to give knowledge on each topics in this area so that you will get clarity of why it's being highly recognized in the market. With this, let me get inside. Cool then. Okay, there is an article came up in Forbes some years back, and when I read this article, I found it so interesting, feeling that okay, hey, this guy is talking about what I feel. Okay, so what was the feel here is I remember when we introduced Agile in some of the organizations, at least my previous organization, Fortune 14 company where I was working, it was not that easy to accept Agile because people were used with Agile concept in some part of the world. Still, some part of the world, people are used with some format for decades. They don't want to go with an Agile mindset. They were confused. Agile is a mindset or it's a technology. Some people started ignoring it. Some started scolding that. Some say that Agile is a eatable. Is it a bird? Is it an animal? A lot of questions start coming up. But if you watch out today, the current trend in the market, Agile is so common. Even my grandmother will talk about Agile. Of course, you don't know what it is, but she will say Agile, right? So Agile has become a common topic these days where Agile is good for the team, good for the customers, because it says as quick delivery and satisfaction to the customers and make sure you give the best to the market, right? That's very, very common. But now the current trend in the world is not about Agile. Okay, Agile is known. It's been default now. Okay, it's part of your life. Now the other thing, important thing happening in the world is the scaling part. How do you take it to the higher level? Now, the moment you say scale, something comes to your mind. Hey, what is this man? Scale. I know Agile is going well. As a team of 12 members, we are working, we are delivering. I'm getting my salary. I'm happy at my home. That's good. But there are situations where a couple of teams has to join together and work towards a common goal. There the problem starts. When you want to put people together and work toward a common goal, there can be some mismatch or a gap, right? That problem starts. Now you can tell me, Sriram, this is so simple, man. It's a people management, right? You have to put people together and it will work. Yes, it should work. Putting people together, of course, it will work. But now what's the problem is, customer moved to the agile mindset last 15 to 20 years. What is agile mindset is a target will be moving. What do you mean by target moving? It won't be like a bridge construction or a building construction where it is decided that will be done. No, the target will be keep moving. The customer give new requirements because agile principle says that welcome changing requirements. So you welcome changing requirements. So requirements keep on changing, customer mindsets keep on changing, and but you have to scale your team. How it will work? It may not. It's getting into trouble. Beyond that, there is one thing very interesting I found while reading this article. Agile teams report a tension between the way team operates and the organization is running on. Please mark down here, there is a difference between the team and the upper layer. The both has some gap there. I was reading some books about successful projects in the world. In that, they say that around 75% of the projects are failing. The primary reason of failing is the gap between the team who is working on the project and the organization top level. When you say CIO, CTO, CEO, senior architect, enterprise architect, you call it the decision makers. They have a different cycle of life. The team who is working is a different cycle of life. Now, when there is improper communication or not proper understanding and alignment of strategy, it fails. I found this article while reading it. Yes, it's happening. Now, what's the solution for it? The solution for it is not one silver bullet or not one tablet, right? There are a lot of ways in the market. In fact, it is happening for a while. There are a lot of application model coming in the market, how to scale it. Let's see few factors and let's talk about SAFe. There are a lot of scaling framework in the market. I'm not going to talk everything, but I'm going to talk about SAFe because that's the focus of this program. With this, let's get inside. Before that, let me look at the attendance here. I'm seeing a good amount of people joined here. Damodar, after a long time seeing you, good to see you there. Subramanian, thanks for joining. Sudha, Tashani, Visha, Vinayak, Prashant, Manish, Kriti, great. Deepa, great. Some of you from different part of the world, thanks for joining on the early morning hours in the cold winter time. Good there. Thanks all for joining. Let's move. Okay, the same story I'm going to put here again. Scaling Agile, whenever I see this, I generally try to map whatever the projects happen in the world or product development happen in the world to our real life. I don't want to see something we do in a corporate is different, your personal life is different. If you handle your personal life really well, I'll tell you, you'll be so good at corporate life also. So to map it well, I'll talk about something on a bachelor's party. I know it's a long years back for some of you would have happened. Bachelor party is so good. Like-minded people, we join together, we plan just like that. Things will work like that, you know. The synchronization will be wow. What to buy, where to assemble, what to do, everything will be perfectly done. Because like-minded people is a small set of team. They know what to do, and it comes amazingly great. And you remember the bachelor party lifelong. You keep cherishing that. Right? You tell that, hey, you know what? The bachelor party we enjoyed. Now, if you put the same team guys into a marriage function and ask them to run the show on the marriage, it will be so tough. Maybe it can succeed one or two cases, but most of the cases it will be trouble because marriage, it can be Western model or Asian model or Indian model, whatever model it is. It needs a collaboration of a multiple set of people, teams work together towards a common mission or goal. All right. There are a lot of dependency here. There are a lot of interaction needed here. A lot of collaboration needed here. Transparency, trust, alignment. A lot of factors are here. Now, putting this together is easy if you have all set of people aligning well. Your uncle, your aunt, your father, mother, all the family members should align together. When you look at the organization, same happens. The CEO, CIO, CTO, architects, engineers, DevOps engineers, or your security guards, or your quality team, everybody should work on the same group. How can I make it happen? This process is called scaling, and for that, few frameworks available in the market. Let's see what the frameworks are telling about this, and then we will see how we can learn scaled agile here, right? So I'm trying to explain factors like how can we make a big shift? That's a message here. Okay, good. You can get to mute if you're not speaking. I appreciate your support. Right, thanks a lot. Let's be on mute. If you want to speak, you can open up and talk, or you can chat in the message. Okay, a quick introduction for the people who just came in. Okay, myself, Sriram Kumar. I'm a project management coach. I'm a SAFe consultant. And what a SAFe consultant is, you can give suggestions and you can even coach an organization towards agility. You can, for scaling the agility, we can talk about it. Okay, I'm hearing Aparna saying voice is breaking. Do anybody feel the same problem? Uh,
No, Shriram, your voice is good. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot. Aparna, can you please try once from your other device if you have? Maybe there is a problem there or internet connectivity. Thanks, Aparna, for the intimation. Please check out from your side. Okay, great there. Great there. I know sometimes the internet is a big trouble there. Okay, good. Thanks, Stephen. We'll move on. Okay, so SAFe Consultant is a program I did some time back. So I have an opportunity to train people. So that's the reason I'm even taking classes now. So I can train people to become a SAFe person, or again, you can be a leading SAFe qualified person. So I learned something on ACP, Agile Certified Practitioner, and I spoke about something on Scrum. That this is the one, right, which is a very trending stuff some years back. Even today it is there, but I'll tell that it is a team player. If you are a team player, I would recommend CSM is so good. If you are an agile coach or agile leader or agile team member or agile manager, you can look for ACP. It's a really good certificate. Till now, it's a so amazing certificate. You are looking for lean, agile as a leadership. Okay. Then you go to SPC, not SPC, leading safe. You may be surprised, what is this, man? Every 2 years, you guys are bringing some certificate. I don't know when I will sleep. If I read one certificate, within 1 year, another certificate comes up. What to do? The world is changing. Market trend is changing. See, when in my childhood, I have seen one television for 15 years, the same model exists at home. We had something called BPL. It will have 12 channels. Okay. Out of this, only two will work. That will be called Doordarshan in India. Okay. That's how we worked out. So that's how the life was some years back. Look at the life what we are living now. Things are changing drastically. Every year and month, you get different models and thought process coming up. And we are thinking pandemic is going to end certain things. You will be surprised. Pandemic is going to bring some new concepts, thought process, technology, which you not even imagined. I'll tell you, in another 5 years, you're going to see something. Ooh, wow! Is it will work like this? It's going to be crazy. Today, I was talking to my spouse. How could the virtual office going to be? Virtual office is going to be crazy. You don't need to go to office. You will stand and speak at your home with the 4 or 5 people, a virtual images stand next to you. Your manager will stand in your home, in your room, virtually. I'm just imagining. It's just my thought process. Can be more coming up in the market. Anyway, that's just thought process. So this is a little about me, and I have around 18 years of experience in the industry. Worked with some of the Fortune top companies, learning something on project deliverables and some factors on that. Okay, that's a little on the advertisement side. Let's stop advertisement, go to the course. Okay, talking about the scaling factor. Scaling factor, as I said, it is not new. For example, in the year 2005, something called LESS came up. LESS is talking about large scale Scrum is essential, and it has a good ingredient to scale up. Team of teams. They'll bring bunch of team of teams. And also, they don't press too much on the rules and roles. It was so good, at some time it was not really going well also. They allow the team to be on their own. The chances are sometimes it comes up well, sometimes it doesn't come up well. But again, it has its own plus and minus. We can't comment more on that. DA stands for Disciplined Agile, which is now acquired by PMI. PMI stands for Project Management Institute, and PMI is advertising left and right for Disciplined Agile because they know that the market is for a scaling organization. Your organization cannot survive with the small teams. They want to go bigger teams, bigger massive projects and thought process coming up in the market. So this also has a plus and minus because it is so open framework, and it says that you can adopt anything in the world and come up with a concept called disciplined agile. It has its own plus and minus. Okay, same happens to SAFe also. This too has a plus and minus, but the plus looks so high. The reason being is it's a set of organization workflow which is targeting the enterprise level agility enterprise scale, marked down enterprise level. And this is so interestingly covered in the segment which I'm going to explain now. Now, they talk three concepts which make the SAFe very strong. One, agile software development. Two, lean agile development, lean product development, systems thinking. In fact, I have some videos to explain each concept. When you put all these things together, it makes a strong framework. And now you may be surprised, Srinam, you want me to learn lean also? Yeah, lean is a very interesting concept, comes from one particular country. Can someone tell me which country lean is coming from? Any clue?
It's from Japan.
Japan.
No other go, right? The moment you say lean, oh man, we can't miss this, guys. I know. We love Japanese product. I don't know how many of you like it. We love Japanese. If you see a word made in Japan in the product, those days people feel proud to have those products. Okay, it may be a Panasonic television. It may be those days Sony radios, right? People feel very proud because the system is so high quality and it will sustain for years. Later, they change the concept of production. They move to a different country. Now, it's also in some trouble. Okay, we're going to read all this thing in the paper next 2 to 3 years. But for now, let's understand. Putting this lean concept, system thinking, going to make SAFe really interesting. By the way, the year says here which year this concept came to the market. Okay, that's how it is. Apart from this, there is two more models, which is called as a Spotify and Nexus. These are some of the models. Spotify is an audio streaming system, I believe. They have formed out a concept how people can work together. Okay, ideally making people work together. That's a big concept. Anyway, scaling is not a so new concept in the world. It's there so many decades back, century back. If you go to army, you've seen that, right? Squads. They have multiple squads or battalion work together. They do the scaling there. But that's a different goal there. But here it's targeted towards the customer satisfaction. So we try to give the best customer satisfaction. So whenever I need the books of management or agile or lean, I don't feel something so new in the world. It's there in a different form, but the naming was not given. Now we're getting the right naming and right convention to learn it, right? Good there. I think some of you having audio problem. I can see some of you dropping out, coming in. Good. Okay, good. Let's move on. What I do is I'll quickly bring up some stuff. Okay, I'm bringing some stats. This stats is pulled out from the Scaled Agile websites. By the way, Scaled Agile website is very open and it has a lot of information. Anybody can download the PDF or PPT information which talks about how scaling agile works. They talk about the benefits of using SAFe. These are coming from the case studies picked up from top companies like Bosch, Fitbit, and they talk about something Fannie Mae, Anthem. These are some of the big companies that I'm talking about. Their development system, they adopted it. They're telling that the 50% faster to the market. They can reach a customer much faster than before when they start using the scaled agile format. Defects started reducing down. The level of defects which they come across started going down. This is going to save huge dollars, right? But the defects are coming down. Productivity is high, happier team. Oh my God. You know what? How much of company is spending money for this? Huge money to make people sustain the organization. So hard, because see, people don't resign for salary alone. People resign because of dissatisfaction with the job, what they do. Don't think all of them resigning because of the reason of money. It can be multiple reasons. They're saying the engagement level is not there. And they're telling that SAFe brings a lot of engagement model. Good then, let's move on. Okay, it's talking about the roles. This is one of the big problems started happening with the Agile system came into market. What happened is they always talk about Scrum Master and a development team, quality team. Beyond this, nobody is discussed in Agile format. And people got scared. Sriram, I'm a project manager. Somebody is unmute mode. Can I just get a mute mode? Thank you. So what happened is people started talking about, hey, you know what? I might lose a job if I become a senior manager. I don't have any role in the organization. Do I need to be always a Scrum Master? Not needed. Now, if you watch out this picture, it talks about number of roles which is being played in a scaled agile framework. It can start from the CEO, CTO level. They play a role, lean portfolio management. This is a certificate for them, okay? And what you are going to learn is a leading SAFe, SA. They call us SA. You will be an executive, you will be a manager, you will be a leader, right? Release train engineer, advanced scrum master, government segment, product owner. There are some specialists. I know in this team there will be some specialists and product owner. You may be architect, testing engineers, software engineers, and agile teams. Name it. Everybody has a role. In the center, you have something called SPC, the person like me or someone who is qualified into SAFe program consultant. They help the whole organization in the SAFe journey. Now, what happened is this brought a lot of joy for the whole organization because everybody is having a role. Hey, imagine there is a marriage going to happen at your home, and you're telling that uncle, aunt, or your elderly people, hey, no role for you. Just sit in the corner of the home. We will conduct the marriage. How much involvement they will have, how much liking will they have? They may not have, right? They'll feel it's okay, you're going to conduct, right? What's the role I'm going to do? Nothing big. Just give me the money, sponsor it. Let's all we will do. It won't work. When everybody join together as a marriage, as a function, as a family, everybody contribute towards a vision and goal, that makes sense. That makes happiness. I feel SAFe is attracting that. That's also one of the reason this is getting so familiar and famous, because all the top level C people liking it. What is C people? Oh, the guys who deserve our salary. Okay. Okay, quickly I'm going to touch on this point of scaling. Most of you would have heard about the Scrum. Okay, Scrum is one of the famous method. I'm trying to draw something here. Scrum will have some logo like this, where they work 2 weeks of sprint. Very good. Maybe 5 to 9 members team or 8 members team, it may be there. Now this is one team. If I put a teams of team and we combine together, that is called as ART, Agile Release Train, where you have 50 to 125 people in one train. A train they will draw like this in SAFe. By the way, my art is a little bad, but this art is good. Agile Release Train. In Agile Release Train,
Shriram, are you sharing it?
sorry. Hey, by the way, quickly I'll check the people. Are you guys able to hear, see, and the screen what I'm doing here?
No, actually, we can't see your screen. Are you sharing your screen?
I think the screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
not visible to me. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Please check out from your side. Hey, maybe you're checking your television. You have to check your laptop.
No, Shriram, I joined through my smartphone.
Okay, okay. So it's not so smart today. Maybe it's not smart today. Leave it. You can share to me. Sorry about it. Okay, good. Good. Maybe people are confirming it's visible. Thanks, guys, for confirming. Please listen to the audio. Later you can see the screen. Okay, good then. Going back, we have 50 to 120 people in a train. Okay, imagine yourself as a train, going in a train, 50 to 125 people, which goes around to 5 to 12 teams joined together. Should have 5 to 12 teams? Come on, man. My office size is that's a size. If that's a size, maybe your company will not recommend to take this whole agile concept of scaling factor. Not needed. They go to small scale. But for small also, they have some concepts there. But primarily, SAFe talks about scaling. But I'll tell you, out of 10 companies, 9 companies are scaling. They have it. Why? Because it is not only you work for a project, right? You have a vendor and system. You have some other third-party system working together. You all work together to make some implementation come on place. So even you are a small organization, you have to connect with the multiple teams to make it happen. Right? That's a little bit about the art factor. I will drill it a little more when I go to other slides. For now, let's get the basics. This is a big framework. It looked like a lot of content in this. A few minutes back, I checked with some people. Have you seen this? Some said, yes, I saw this. Okay, this is a big framework which has a lot of information. I'll quickly touch base on what I want to tell you. Okay, this is called Scaled Agile Lean Enterprise Framework. Now, I don't want you to memorize all or read all. What we'll try to understand is we want to see as an enterprise, how the strategy is getting framed, how the strategy becomes an epic. Epic is Mahabharata, Ramayana is epic. And the epic, how it becomes a particular backlog. They call it as backlog. The backlog can be of a program backlog. When the program backlog happens, how it becomes a team backlog, When the team backlog happens, how it becomes a story and end of the deliverable starts coming out. Okay, that's a slow flow here. Strategy, it becomes an epic becomes a backlog becomes a team backlogs becomes a story, and it is being delivered. For delivering this, you can use Scrum, you can use XP, you can use Kanban. Now the question is, Sriram, I'm away from all this stuff, man. I don't know, whatever it is. You no need to be there. You may be a leader of this organization. You may be a first line manager. You may be a program manager. You may be a portfolio manager. You may be a PMO, right? You may be a quality head manager. Now you learning this, you understand the concept of how the framework is working, right? But if you're a team member, still you can learn it. You know how the Scrum works. You know how the XP works. You know how the Kanban works. Pick up the system and start implementing in a very systematic way. Now the question of systematic way comes here, and what's the difference between less or you go for the discipline agile is something they call as PI planning, right? Program increment. They plan something like this, they work systematically. For example, this will go for 8 to 10 weeks of timeline, 8 to 10 weeks of timeline. By the way, this is part of the course. I'll explain when you go to the courses. It will be too much for you now. For your purpose, I want you to understand as a leader, every enterprise has some strategy. So, you know, what is strategy, man? Strategy means it's a high level decision making of what goal to be achieved. As CEO, CTO, CIO, portfolio manager, directors, program managers, they discuss something which can be achieved, or it can be a market push, or it can be a decision by the organization to go to the next level. I was quoting some example about the stuff. Before I go to that next slide, I just want to get from you, do anybody know the parent company of Google? Or do you know that Google has a parent company?
Yeah,
Alphabet.
it's Alphabet, Sriram.
Oh,
Alphabet.
you guys know.
Yeah, Alphabet.
Okay, great. By the way, Alphabet does only Google as a business or any other business is there?
Quite a lot. So they
Oh,
are a parent company for AI, and a lot of other things.
fantastic. Good, Gangesh. Thanks for that. I'll just put the next image. If anybody not aware of this, I think most of you are aware of it. Alphabet has a lot of branches. Calico, they do technology. Their research segment, they do a big research segment in this area, huge money. Nest, this is the hardware division of Google. And Ventures is there, Capital is there, Fiber is there, many. But some of us may know only this part of it. Still, it is a portfolio. Under that, you have Android as a portfolio, search engine as a portfolio, YouTube, Play, Map, Ads. My goodness, lot are there, right? Now, why I'm explaining this stuff? Every organization will have a top level of strategy, what need to be achieved. And that strategy will be break down to sub level. And they start to percolate that message a down layer, and that becomes a story in our backlog, your Jira board or a Rally board or MS project, right? And I want us to think as a leader, the top level, how it works out. I won't expect you to sit and do that role, but at least you should know how it works out. I just pulled out a Tata as well, because Tata is never less than is a big company which has lots and lots of portfolios. How they integrate this, how they make it happen, that's a question which you have to understand. When I go back to this previous slide, you may get a clue of it. Okay, here now, and again, it's a big map, a lot of information. When I explain the classes, I'll take time to explain this. But here you understand that enterprise, think about Alphabet, Google, or an organization, any healthcare, any bank segment, it can be anything on software development. And that flows as a strategy, and strategy becomes a vision for which they allocate some budget, it becomes an epic, and it starts flowing through, right? Anyway, I'll explain a little more later, I go inside. For now, if you see this, it's a good framework. But Sriram, how can you learn this, man? Looks a lot of information. Yes, this is a reason you will go for the coach to learn the content piece by piece. And also, the website has a beautiful thing. In the website, if you go and click each icon, it will explain as a paragraph where you can read and understand. But the problem here is many people don't like reading. They'll say, Sriram, you tell me as a story, man, I'll listen it. If you are that person like me, okay, you got to listen to the sessions, you'll get more idea about it. Okay, let's move a little more. Quickly, I'll talk about certification, what it is, because many of you would want to know what is this all about, right? After this explaining the certification, I'm going to explain the concepts and I'm going to show some videos to you. First of all, in Scaled Agile website, they have lots and lots of certificate. let's not go too much into all the areas. Let's focus on the area which will help us when you are as a team lead, manager, leader, executive, CIO, CTO, CEO. Oh my God. If you see here, it starts with CEO, it goes to CIO, portfolio manager, consultant, engineer, program manager, change agent, solution architect. Everybody starts coming up. Now, all these people can go for one certificate, which is very famous in the market, called as Leading Safe. It will have a logo like SA, right? Scale Agilist. Now, it is a 2 days of program. So what we do in 2 days of program, you will be explained with the concepts and a lot of workshop will be done. That's very important. What is workshop? You get a hands on it. See, certain things, only when you do it, you learn it. See, for example, when I started learning my car driving, when I sit for the car driving, the next guy, the co-driver, explained me, sir, this is steering and this is gear, this is clutch, that's brake. Okay, good. Now what to do? You have to do something. You have to start and drive. You know what? The many times the clutch will not go properly, at least 10 or 15 times in the first shot. That happens in any area. So you have to do hands-on. That hands-on called as workshop to learn it. Will you be expert on the first day? You may not, but at least you know what the flavor is all about, right? Good there. And few more information if you are so much interested on the certificate to understand. It's a 2 days of program and it covers a lot of people. You may fall under one of this category. Okay. You may be a coach, you may be a manager, program manager, team lead, CIO, CEO, right? And they tell that this certificate is open for anybody. If you look at here, all are welcome, provided if you have 5 years of experience, you will have upper hand. Doesn't mean that with experience you can come in. Without experience also you can come in. All are welcome attend the course regardless of experience. Watch out here, regardless. I pulled out from the site now for information. Experience in Scrum team, if you worked out, it will be amazingly great. Okay, it's an added advantage. Okay, that's what it's going to be helping. By the way, this is the basic things. Let's go a little more. Here, the exam part. Most of you want to know what Scrum or Leading Safe exam talks about. See, the exam goes around 1.5 hours. That is 1.5 hours or 90 minutes of exam, where you'll have 45 questions to attend. Okay, 45 questions. Oh man, it's going to be tough. Okay, it won't be tough as you read through because articles are going to be pretty easy to read and anybody can self-learn the content also, provided you start with a good coach. Now, what is a passing mark? Okay, that's a very interesting question. You have 34 questions to be correct out of 45 questions, which is 77%. If you get it, you are qualified. You get a certificate done. How to write to this exam, Shriram? Do I need to go to exam center? Do I need to book for the exam? No need to worry. When you attend the 2 days of classes, automatically you get a license to write the exam. And this license will be valid for 30 days from the day you took the class. You can log in with your laptop at your home, at your convenience, you can complete the exam. But only thing is, you have to do in one shot. What I mean one shot? If you take this exam, 1.5 hours continuously. You cannot tell that, hey Shriram, I have a movie in Netflix, let me pass the exam, watch the movie, come back and I can continue the exam. That will not work. You have to complete the exam, then go and watch Netflix, YouTube, whatever you want, right? So they're giving one attempt when you pay the exam fee, class fee, and you get for the exams. In case, okay, Shriram, I lost the exam, what to do? You have to pay $50 for the next attempt. That's how it is. But I have not seen anybody fail. It's 100% success because one is the subject is so easy to understand, and also we'll explain you how to look at the concepts. The more you understand the concept, you will clear the exam better way. Hope it gives some information. Can I go to the subject? Can I get a couple of years if you understood about the exam? Couple of years. Okay. Okay. Any questions on the exam side? And then we'll talk again about the exam a little later. But for now, any questions? Okay. One thing, you can open up the mic and speak. No need to be only on the chat window. You are free to do. But after speaking up, you can put yourself mute. That's better for arresting the background sound. Good there. I don't see much question. I believe you got it. Also, it's available in Google. Anybody can Google and learn it. Okay, I was talking about the certificate, Leading Safe, 2 days, program. That's great. Good there. Now, one more interesting factor is here. If you do this certificate training for 2 days, they give something called PDUs. Anybody coming from the family of PMI who will be keep on hunting for this. Okay, even I do that. So when you have attend the classes, for if you are a PMP qualified person, you get 15 PDUs. Wow, that's good. I know Deepa is very happy there. Now we have ACP, then again it gives you 15 PDUs. If you do for a PBA, RPM, RMP, you get PDUs. It goes on, right? So it means, what it means is when you learn this SAFE, it has the knowledge of leadership, management, agile concept, which has been recognized by Project Management Institute. That's why they're giving these PDUs. Okay, so it'll be useful. So somebody here who completed the PMP, ACP for you PDUs who very much needed, that is you have to gather 60 PDUs for the year, 3 years, right? So this 15 will help you. Okay, that's interesting tips. Let's go to the subject now. Ooh, subject starts. Scaled Agile. What is Scaled Agile? In Scaled Agile, we are touching 3 concepts. One is Agile development, lean product development, systems thinking. Okay, how come these 3 are coming together? There is a big question on this. See, Agile development is not a new concept. It is there from 2001. Even before that, they started talking about it. In 1990, they started talking about it. But 2001, it got a shape because of 17 engineers joined together. They came into the Agile concepts and mindset. Agile development, I don't need to explain you. Most of you know that as Scrum, Kanban. Man, I know this, man. It's happening. Agile means satisfying the customer, the early deliverable. Do a regular retrospective to tune your team a little more better. Right? Communication is better for that. That talks about Agile factor. Somebody put on the mute. If you don't mind, can you put your mute? Thank you. Thank you. Good. So now 3 concepts we're going to put together that's called Scaled Agile. Now Agile is fine. 2 more concepts will challenge you. One is called Lean Product Development, Systems Thinking. See, these are as an English term, looks good to hear. But what is the message here? How do you going to implement it? Shriram, I know this is lean, man, but what do you mean by that? Okay, I couldn't get it. Systems thinking, okay, again, sounds good. What is that? See, lean development talks about, Agile talks about the concepts of the philosophy of serving customer better. The lean talks about, purely it comes from Japanese concept from Toyota. In fact, Taiji Ono, the great guy who from Toyota made up the lean concepts. How you reduce the waste. If you read the books of Pop and Dick, it talks about the 7 waste, right? What are the waste we can reduce so that we can be fast? In fact, you can improve the process so that you can reach customer faster. How do you do that? The lean mindset and thought process. Systems thinking talks about how can we improve as a whole. For example, I want to be fit. So I'm going to gym every day, 2 hours, doing good exercise. Good. But my sleeping habit is not good. I'm not eating healthy food. My friend circle is not good. I'm doing some unwanted stuff, but I go to gym every day. Will it improve me? No. Gradually, everything will go down. When you want to improve, you have to improve as a system as a whole. You cannot tell only going to gym will be a better person. I should have a good food habits. I should sleep on time. Best habits and lifestyle should be there. Along with that, if I do exercise, it makes me a better person. So system thinking is not about putting one area correctly, rest all being that trouble, it will be good. No, it won't. You have to correct it as a whole, as a system, as a group. And that 3 coming together talks about the Scaled Agile. Now what I'm going to do is I'm continuously going to play 3 videos, and each video going to explain one by one. One is Agile, one is Lean, one is System. Once you understand this, I'm going to talk a few more concepts, right? Okay, let's do that. By the way, I think most of you seeing my screen. I'll quickly pull up my video. Video is here. I will get a confirmation from you once I play the video. Okay, some of you or most of you are able to see the video and are able to get some sounds coming up. Back in the 90s. Okay, can a couple of them give a confirmation you are able to see the video and get the sound?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. After this application failed happened 1 year back, I'm trying to confirm everything now. Okay, let's go.
Back in the 90s, IT projects were managed by the waterfall methodology, where the executed tasks cascaded from analyzing the requirements to designing, implementing, testing, and rollout. Although the approach was exceedingly structured and organized, clients were not satisfied. In fact, what was happening was that most parts of the projects were out of budget, time, scope, and quality, and clients were dissatisfied. Even when projects were on time, within budget and scope, and of good quality, clients were still unsatisfied. But why? Simply because what they'd asked for was not necessarily what they really needed. That was the case until some software practitioners created a set of alternative approaches. 17 of those individuals decided to gather in November 2001 in a ski resort in Utah, US, where they came up with the Agile Manifesto, a new mindset focusing on 4 values and 12 principles rather than on a predefined blueprint. These values are 1. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. 2. Working software over comprehensive documentation. 3. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. 4. Responding to change over following a plan. And the principles are about customer satisfaction, embracing changes, speed delivery, collaboration, empowerment, effective communication, good metrics, steadiness, operational excellence, simplicity, self-organization, continuous improvements. Today, thanks to the 17 innovative visionaries, we can, through adopting the Agile mindset, embrace changes to improve performance and reach client satisfaction. Thank you.
Okay, I believe most of you know about Agile, and at least this would have helped you a little idea about what they talk about Agile development. Now, the next one which I'm going to play, it's going to be pretty new to you. You have to look at the concept of what Japanese Toyota system, how they worked out. Look at this video, and one particular situation, this video, they talk about how they improve the system. Please observe this, it'll be so useful for you.
Toyota knows how to make cars. It does it so well, it became the first company to produce more than 10 million a year. Its success is rooted in a special system that began what's now known as lean manufacturing, an ethos emulated by companies around the world to make products faster, cheaper, and better. Here's how Toyota changed the way we make things. Following the Second World War, Japan was left in a precarious economic position.
Steel and other metals are scarce.
Already disadvantaged by lacking natural resources, materials were hard to come by. Companies had to be creative to compete. Toyota's founder, Tsukichi Toyoda, had started a loom business, but it was his son Kichiro who founded the motor company in 1937. They were used to working within narrow margins. As the shortage of materials increased during the war, the number of headlamps on its Model K truck was reduced to 1, and it only had brakes on one of the axles. The turning point for Toyota's production system would come in the early 50s, when Kichiro's cousin Eiji would travel to the US with a veteran loom machinist, Taiichi Ono. They visited Ford's River Rouge plant in Michigan and were impressed by the scale of the operation, but knew that in cash-strapped Japan, companies didn't have the resources for such a system. Having months' worth of stock sitting in a warehouse would tie up precious capital they didn't have. Instead, what truly impressed Ono was a visit to a supermarket, the Piggly Wiggly, according to legend. Japan didn't really have self-service stores at this point, and he was struck by the way customers could choose exactly what they wanted, when they wanted. He decided to model his production line on a similar idea. With the supermarket formula, only enough parts were produced in the first phase to replace what was used in the second, and so on. This is where the just-in-time system really took shape. Toyota was able to eliminate much of the waste in Ford's system, making smaller numbers of parts to be used when it needed them, allowing the company to operate on a tighter budget. As part of this, Ono developed Kanban, a sign-based scheduling method which shows goods in production, and goods out. It's now seen as a precursor to barcodes. Ono and Toyota also noticed that American car companies were still employing many of Henry Ford's early production techniques. They kept operations at full tilt in order to maximize efficiencies of scale, but then had to repair defective cars after they rolled off the line. Ono believed this caused more problems and didn't encourage workers or machines to stop making the mistake. So he placed a cord above every station which any worker could pull to stop the entire assembly if they spotted a problem.
Okay, I'm just stopping this video to tell you that this is a very interesting segment of Toyota. If you observe this video, something interesting happened here. Did anybody observe what happening in Toyota compared to other assembly line? Did anybody got a clue what they're doing there when there is a problem?
Are they revalidating everything?
Perfectly right. So what happened is when they observe the Western world or look at the American assembly line, when there is a problem, the problem is fixed only at the quality department. They keep moving the assembly line. They don't bother. They keep pushing it. But what Toyota was introduced by the time is, if there is a problem, they stop the assembly line movement and everybody will assemble to that segment and try to fix that issue. Only when the issue is fixed, the assembly line will move again. Until then, it won't move. It may look like crazy stuff, man, this is going to delay. They say that's okay, but find the problem, fix it. It's called root cause analysis. And also this will reduce a lot of future problems coming up. It's one of the great thought of lean factor where they start reducing the wastage of going back to the quality and again coming back to the system. And it's very interesting factor. I found it so nice when you listen to the stuff. It was there decades back, not now, right? And that's what they're trying to put in other systems also. Let's observe it more.
The whole team work on it to prevent it from happening again. As teams identified more problems, the number of errors began to drop dramatically. Combined with a culture of continuous incremental improvement called Kaizen, the Toyota production system built a brand known for making reliable and affordable cars. But Toyota was also getting good at producing cars quickly. In 1962, the company had produced 1 million vehicles. By 1972, they'd produced 10 million. It was around that time that the efficiencies of their factories enabled Toyota to produce a car every 1.6 man-hours, much lower than their competitors in the US, Sweden, and Germany. And as the oil crisis of the decade sent gas prices higher, cheap-to-run Japanese cars became much more appealing to Americans, whose powerful but gas-guzzling vehicles suddenly became very expensive to run. Today, Toyota has made over 250 million vehicles. Others have looked to them to learn the lessons of lean, combining craft with mass production, avoiding waste while striving for constant improvement. Boeing is perhaps the most famous, restructuring a plant to better suit TPS. Intel is another long-time lean ambassador and is exploring the principles in the context of AI and the Internet of Things. A Canadian hospital even used Toyota's system to decrease wait times in its ER. The Toyota production system changed not just how cars are made globally, but how we approach making things full stop. It also showed that there's always a better way to make a product.
Okay, hope that was a good video. Maybe some would have watched it before in YouTube. But I found it so interesting to talk about the lean concept and lean mindset. So far, I have seen 3 things I'm going to talk. One is an agile development, which I showed you the 4 manifesto and principles of agile, which you all may be aware of it. Second one, I spoke about lean. Now, the last one, before I go to the content of explaining, I'm going to talk about something called systems thinking. The systems thinking is one of the interesting concepts which need to be learned. I'll put a video about that before I go to the main content. And comes here the video for systems thinking. Yep.
Systems thinking, a way to maximize program effectiveness. Systems thinking. Maybe you've heard of it, are doing it, or you've heard that you should be doing it. What is it, and what does it mean for the senior manager? Let's start by looking at what a system is. A system is any kind of entity that is made up of parts that interact. Together, these parts and their interconnections create a whole, which in turn produces some kind of result. Using a systems perspective is important because it helps us to better understand what helps or hinders the success of health interventions. Here's an example. Meet Suzanne. Suzanne is a senior manager at a large regional health organization. The high rate of obesity is an issue in her community, and she's been mandated to address this problem. Her first instinct is to develop a program to get more people active. But what is realistic to expect from this approach? Systems thinkers believe that viewing a program like this, apart, in isolation of the larger system within which it operates, the whole, tends to ignore other aspects that might influence its potential for impact. Why? Research tells us that obesity is the result of a combination of many physiological, psychological, social, environmental, and economic factors that all interact with one another. For example, at the individual level, there are issues such as human physiology, exercise habits, food choices, and one's occupation. But beyond the individual, there are other factors at play, such as the local built environment, quick and easy access to junk food, and larger food industry practices, such as trends in portion sizes, sugar, and fat content. The interaction of all these influences make obesity a product of what we call a complex system. If Suzanne would use a systems approach, she would realize that relying on simple linear cause and effect solutions for one program would ignore those interactions and likely fail. While Suzanne's staff at the program level have a tendency to think only within the boundaries of their program, senior managers and planners like Suzanne are in a unique position to do what systems thinkers call zooming out. Zooming out considers how other aspects outside of a program's traditional boundaries, both within the organization and beyond, might influence the success of the program. By zooming out and looking at the influence of other interventions, policies, structures, patterns, and norms in the broader system, Suzanne is better able to strategically consider other values and perspectives and the interrelationships among each that may impact obesity rates in her community. In doing so, she can identify more powerful leverage points outside of the program that have the potential to facilitate and support changes in obesity. Leverage points are places within the system that can be tweaked in a way that supports greater impact. For example, are there actions Suzanne and her team might take that could increase the community's access to opportunities for physical activity? While some leverage points are within Suzanne's capacity to change, others will be beyond her control. However, it will still be useful to be aware of these as she plans for the program. Adopting a systems view won't change the boundaries of this program, but it will expand the boundaries of the evaluation. By recognizing the importance of the different perspectives and values of those outside the program and the interrelationships throughout the system, Suzanne can ensure that the evaluation is framed in a way that captures the key boundaries, diverse perspectives, and interrelationships that serve as important leverage points in the system. Of course, Suzanne's budget won't permit an evaluation of the entire system, but she can ensure that any evaluation she commissions will provide her with more strategic direction on how to effectively address obesity within her community. For example, in addition to recommendations for improving the program, the results of the evaluation might indicate opportunities for new partnerships or external policy change. If her community has poor walking and cycling infrastructure, where might she and her team advocate? Or who could they collaborate with to make changes? By asking these questions, Suzanne is finding that using a systems approach helps her focus on the broader issue of obesity in her community instead of a single program in her organization. She gains a better understanding of what external factors are influencing the program's success and can set more reasonable expectations of what it can accomplish. She's also learning what needs to change both within and outside of the program to better maximize her organization's effectiveness. Many now believe that a systems approach holds the most promise for addressing complex health problems like obesity, which is not only good for Suzanne, but good for everyone.
Okay, that's a bunch of videos for you to understand certain factors. And sometimes videos reach faster than a text content. So I thought of pulling up these videos. Now, getting back on these concepts, talks about agile development, lean product development, systems thinking. At least you may not got 100% here. I won't expect you to get 100%. At least if you got 25% of the idea, this is what the world is moving towards. It's not only IT industry, any organization is moving towards agile way of working, lean thought process, and systems thinking. But if you put everything together, they feel that they get results as expected, right? Now let's see how it's being implemented in a few slides. And also I have one video from Bosch. Bosch is one of the highest implementer of a SAFe, and they're going to talk about the success, how it happens. That will explain as I go deep inside. Now let's quickly talk about what other things in Scale Agile. Okay, now This slides, what you saw is part of the explanation about the certification and that stuff. And there is one source which I'm pulling up now. It's from Scaled Agile itself. This PPT or content is available for anybody. If you go to scaledagilepFramework.com, they have a resource. There is a column. If you click it, it will get the file be downloaded. Anybody can download it. So I thought of pulling up this content to share information. It has a lot of content. I'm not going to talk everything. I'm going to talk a few factors which may connect with you, because you have to learn it as a course, which will help you to get detail. If not, you may get overflowing with the content, right? Let's go some basic contents. There was a book published by Mike Kurtzon, who talks about those who master large scale of software delivery will define the economic landscape of the 21st century. You'll be surprised, oh man, software company can decide the landscape. The situation is going like that. Now the market says that any company and every company is either technology driven or part of their system is having a software implementation. Every company is a technology company. It may be anything. See, let's look 15-20 years back. Big giant companies, they don't do anything technology and software at their company. They always outsource it. Now if you go to any company, they do on their own. Either do it on their own or outsource it, but they depend on technology. They depend on AI. They depend on something on software implementation which will run the system. Now, why we have to learn this? Any organization which can pick up to the market speed can survive. If not, you'll be left behind. I'll tell you, with the situation of COVID happening now, the company which cannot catch up with the virtual world cannot survive. If you're still going to be saying that we need a physical presence, of course, certain job needs it. We can't say no. But certain areas there are opportunity. But how are you going to enhance that? They survive in the market. It's a study. When you look at the study, this was pulled up from the books of Carl Sperry's. The book talks about revolutions. I believe most of you would read about the history of our world. When you read about the history, you could have definitely seen this kind of revolutions happen, right? In 17th, 17th century, that particular time, an industrial revolution, age of steam rails, and you have a steel and heavy engineering, oil and gas and mass production. And now we are in software revolution from 1971. You will say, man, I thought software is only from 2000. No, in fact, from 1971 it started. They call as 3 stages. One is installation period, one is a turning point, one is deployment period. Sriram, why you are explaining this to me? Because you are a leader, you are a manager, you are going to be a CEO, or you are a CEO already. You should know all these factors, how things moving towards the world. Now, what they're trying to say here is the team which can catch up faster with the current moving trend can survive. How? They want to give some examples. When you look at the industrial revolution or any factor, something will happen in the installation period. I'll talk a little more on the next slide. But for now, understand that installation period is the period where technology, implementation, people, money, all coming up here, right? And there is a point, a turning point. They call it a turning point. And that's a point they decide which side of the organization to go. And in fact, if you go to the next point, I will just pull up that. Just a minute. Okay, there are 3 factors here being explained. If you watch out, installation period, they call it as a Cambrian explosion, a small sort of explosion where a set of new life starts coming up. So the installation period is this period where the thought process start emerging. That is something, new concepts be coming in the picture. Now, if I tell about the virus situation, pandemic happening now, it could be installation period. It could turn the whole world other side. Now, turning point is the place where either the business grow faster or get away. They're not in the market at all. So that's a turning point. Now, the next one is a deployment period where the companies materialize the technology, materialize the power happening in the market. Now, what the books of this person says is either we are on the turning point in 2020 or we are past from the turning point. So the companies which can pick up in the technology, move forward, can survive. Now, again, why it's being explained? Because you are in leadership cadre and you're learning a course called Leading Safe, right? We're just going to talk about leading the course. Now, the same books talks about some factors and features about what's happening in the market. They talk about BMW CEO talks about in future, half of their R&D people will be software developers. If you talk about Amazon or any food mergers, they're going to do cross-selling. I want to talk about 2 factors. One is about Tesla. I'm sure most of you are aware of Tesla cars. I believe Tesla came in the year 2003, if I'm not wrong. I think that's the year they came in the market. And they're able to catch up the market much faster than the company which was there in 1903 or 1908. Ford came this time, GM came this time. These companies are more than 100 years, but these guys came in 15 years who can catch up the market. And these companies are believing purely on technology. These are software-driven cars. It's running amazingly great. People liking it, people trusting it, people crazy to book in advance years before. Why? Technology-driven market is going on. Now, Apple has become a great watchmaker. You may be surprised. I thought Apple is a phone maker. They're a great watchmaker. Their profit revenue is so high in the watch segment, which is on digitalized, which is on pure on technology. So the point I want to convey here is any company which have pick up in this period of era on technology to move forward. And they're telling that to do that, you cannot live with the industrial model of organization. You have to move to the agile model. You have to move to the lean model. You have to do the systems thinking. You have to improve as a system as a whole. You cannot try one segment to improve and you tell that the whole company will improve. No, you have to improve as a whole. That's upon they're trying to bring up in the segment. Good then, let's move a little more. What is safe? Okay, before I go there, do we have any questions from the team here? Anybody have any questions? I may have another 20 minutes of content. If anybody have any questions, we'll talk about it. If not, I'll take the next few minutes on the subject. Okay. Let me see a chat window. Okay, not much questions. Let's move. Let's move. Okay, what is SAFe? I believe I spoke few factors about SAFe. I don't want to repeat again and again bore you, but I'll make you understand that's a leading framework. Of course, they're the one leading framework. They follow the lean, agile, DevOps concepts and principles, practices are there. Of course, see, anything has to be good, definitely some principles to be there, right? If there shouldn't be much of a road accidents, you have to follow certain rules and rules in the roadside. Telling go on the left, go on the right, follow the signal. These are some of the principles to be followed. And that's the way this system also will have certain principles. Anyway, we'll learn it when come to the course. For now, let's understand the factors. I think I spoke about this stuff. And this stuff, again, I want you to understand and read the case studies. In fact, I'm going to show one of the case study. So case studies talks about how it's giving success. That's why many companies are going, right? If there is no success, people won't go. If you only give all colorful slides and information, people feel, hey, it's okay, man. I will make a better colorful slide than you. That won't work. What's the result? Are you bringing product to the market? Is the customer happy? Okay, some of the companies put our list here. I'm sure some of you would have worked in any of these companies, or at least you wear the Fitbit. Bosch, I'm sure Bosch, many of you know about it. Anybody know Bosch, what they manufacture or what is their products? Anybody here who knows about Bosch? Anybody who works in Bosch? Somebody in Bosch here?
Automobile spare parts.
Perfect, perfect.
Light appliances, household goods, electronics.
Right.
Quite,
Yeah, that's right.
apart from that, they are also into medical equipments.
Yes,
Quite a lot
yes,
of, yeah.
yes.
Most of the engineering.
Yes, thanks, Mukesh. And they come from Germany. They are nearly 133 years old organization. They have a very, very strong system in place, right, to make things work better. If anybody at home at any part of the world, you will have one spare part of their company staying at your home. That's a dialogue they give. Anybody in this home, any part, something will be there in a automobile or home appliances. Somewhere you will have some small spare part from the Bosch. It comes out, right? And every country has some branch and manufacturing is going on, and the segment of research is going on. Now they are one great fan follower of SAFe. And beyond that, I have a lot of names here. Some of the names you know very well. Some of the names will be new to you. Many. I have worked in some of them here. I don't see the names here. Some of the government segments here. A lot of factors here. Now many companies coming up. Okay. So what I will do is I'm going to pull up first Bosch. There are some videos available on YouTube which talks about their success story. I don't want to put a lengthy video, but I want to show a short video to talk about what Bosch is doing with the SAFe. Why, first of all, they need a SAFe? Because they have a big portfolio like what I spoke about Alphabet or Google, as I spoke about Tata. They have a big portfolio, but technically driving. Man, Bosch, I thought it's an automobile. What's that in technology, man? It's a manufacturing company. Why is technology needed? If you have those questions, what we'll do is quickly listen to this video, which happened as a big forum conference, where they show some couple of content of what is their portfolio, what is their value, how the technology is merging together, why they need such a big team, and how much the big team is going on. We will talk and listen to this topic alone and come back again. Are you ready for the video? Can I play the video again? One more video. Let's get to the video. Customer story, here it comes.
I start my day like a sun rays. I tap the phone, coffee's on. I hold the lawn. It's a job, so connected, so effective. I let it drop, clean it up. It's smart, I do my part. Get in the car. Superstar, they're watching me. IoT, 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 IoT. I check my stocks. What a shot. Buy some wrong. My oven's on. Coming home. Future's on. All for me. IoT, 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 IoT. Live like a Bosch with many connectivity solutions for a smarter future. From Bosch. So thank you, Sean. Now, whether you guys like it or not, I'm going to present you some key figures about Bosch. So we are a worldwide company doing a turnover of about 78 billion euro. You have to calculate it by your own in US dollar. We have 410,000 people working for Bosch worldwide in more than 150 locations. Our business is clustered into 4 divisions. With a business sector mobility solution, with all the automotive solutions we supply, it's the biggest one and contributes about 60% of our turnover. To give you an impression about the complexity we are facing to enable the mobility of the future, I will show you another short video.
Automated driving will change future mobility. There will be fewer traffic jams, lower emissions, and fewer accidents.
Automated driving is available. The car is in control now.
Instead of having to handle the vehicle in monotonous situations ourselves, like in a traffic jam, we can put our time to better use or just relax. On the road to realizing this vision, we have already successfully mastered several challenges. Effective driver assistance systems are helping drivers reach their destination more safely and feeling more relaxed. They are capable of understanding ever more complex traffic situations, providing the driver with an increasingly comprehensive level of assistance. In the future, the car must be able to make its own decisions in order to learn how to drive, just like a human, only better. The car must therefore be able to detect what is going on around it sooner and more precisely. It must calculate the best driving strategy at lightning speed and then act on it safely and reliably. By teaching the car all of these things, we are taking another step on the road toward automated mobility.
Oh man, I really love that vision of the future. Everything automated and driverless. But actually, it is no vision of the future anymore. This year, just 460 miles north of San Diego in San Jose. The Bosch and Daimler together will have the first prototype of a fully automated ride-hailing service in urban environment. And the interesting thing for here is that to do so, Bosch and Daimler employees together work on the same location. But not only on the same location, they use the same agile methods and practices, all embedded in a common release train in the SAFe framework that actually enables that partnership. The complex solutions of today can't be anymore built by a single company, so partnering is essential. But to be successful in partnering, we need a common understanding. We need a common understanding about the vision and the values. We need to share the same ideas about system and system thinking. And we need alignment on business agility and, for example, how to nail down ethics and enablers, all from the portfolio level down to the teams and stories. We need alignment in cadence, and we need a common understanding about agile roles on all levels. Or you can say in a nutshell, you need to talk a common language. That's essential. And you need a common framework to do so, like SAFe. So our SAFe implementations do not only scale across various business divisions of Bosch or across several companies, they also scale all over the globe. What makes SAFe for us the fastest growing framework for agile scaling.
Okay, there I stop. I know it's a big video actually. It has a full conversation of how they did the implementation. By the way, why I put this video is to give a clue for you how actually the scaling is happening in such an organization, right? I know some of you would know much about the Bosch, what they do there, and if you see this segment, one word he said very interesting, or one sentence. He said that we have to speak a common language, right? The common language speaking is very important when you are technically driven and also the vision and goal is going towards a common target. The company names which Bosch put there is not small. If you see that Sony, Daimler, every group is there. Now all these guys have a big system, right? Right. Thanks, Anish, for joining. So now it goes to so huge, and they want to cooperate and make it happen. Now for that, they're recommending SAFe that they're using it. Okay, that's a one success story. In fact, you can Google it and read a little more about that particular stuff. Fitbit has its own story. PepsiCo has its own story. These are videos available on YouTube. I just thought of sharing it so you get a clue of it, right? Now let's see what they're doing inside that. To do that effectively, when you want to connect like a Bosch system with a lot of segments, they need some 7 core competencies. They say that these core competencies can help a system to move faster. The first thing they talk about is lean agile leadership. This is where you'll be so much needed. See, agile always talking about the team level, right? It never talked about much on the leadership level. Now you bring the lean also into the system and you bring a leadership under that, it's going to be amazingly great. There are some features you're going to talk about it. How to lead as an example, how to lead a change. So leading agile is one of the very important factors where lean agile leadership. And they talk about team and technical agility, agile delivery, enterprise delivery, lean portfolio management. They call it as LPM. Anyway, I'll explain those factors a little bit here and there. Continuous learning culture. And I'll tell you, this is very important. It is also called as a retrospective. Sometimes we do look at ourselves and start learning on the mistakes. Apart from that, you do some of the innovation stuff happening. You help team to learn something new concepts and start moving forward. So, you know, what happened is, at least I've seen some of the team members who work in a sprint format. They work day and night in sprint format. A sprint starts for the day 3 and ends on day 13, some 10 days of timeline. Again, next sprint start on 14th day. Now, where is this team going to learn anything? You become a mechanical and machine person. And sometimes I spoke to some of the sprint or Scrum teams. They say that Shriram, it's getting exhausted, man. We work like a machine. Every 2 weeks we do something. We don't know what we're going to learn. Now they make it very sure should be something called continuous learning system. What they specifically dedicated 2 weeks specifically for innovation and thought process, right? They call it as the innovation planning team, where they do those has a 2 weeks of activity for learning something and innovating. It's interesting. Okay, in fact, it's needed in the sense of learning something. Good, then let's put a little more factors. And when you talk about lean agile leadership, or talk about the house of lean, whenever the word lean comes out, they look out for what's the best value we can give to the customer. In order to give the best value, of course, leadership is a basement. You should have a great, strong leadership. Apart from that, 4 things are very important pillars for giving a best value to the customer. Respect for the people and culture. How much you respect the team and the people around. It's not handling them like a mission, rather respecting their values, respecting their innovation, thought process. That's quite important for the value deliverable. And flow talks about how you do the work in process, a Kanban flow. It even talks about the DevOps, which improves your flow system moving smoothly. Innovation, they even talk about Gemba walk, if you heard about it. You go to the place where actually the work is happening and listen to them, where the innovation starts coming up. And relentless improvement, we heard much in Agile Factor. They called as a retrospective. You start improving yourself continuously, right? Yeah, good. Thanks, Nigesh. So the point is, we're talking about some of the factors, some of the values which will help the system to move forward. By the way, when you go to the course, you will start learning this deep inside. For now, understand these are some of the basics, rules, and principles which make a system very strong, right? Okay, and I think many of you are aware of Agile Manifesto. I may not need to repeat it, but just understand that the whole system of a SAFe has a basement with the Agile Manifesto. They didn't go away from it. They're within this. They're telling that they always give respect to this right side items, where the process and tools, yeah, we know it's needed. Comprehensive documentation, yes, we know needed. Contract negotiation needed. Following a plan needed. But beyond that, give respect to people. Individuals and interactions are very important. Working software, something usable, that's very vital. Customer collaboration is very important than doing the contract negotiation. Responding to change-driven system will improve faster. You cannot tell that I will not adopt change at this point of time. No, you can adopt change because customer has to win the market. Since we don't adopt the change, the customer will lose the business, right? So that's a primary point to talk about it. I believe if you've not seen it, it is called Ford Manifesto of Agile. This is the basement of total Agile mindset and concept, which came in the year 2001, right? That's very interesting. Good then. Okay, a few more content before we say that, okay, we learned a little bit about SAFe factors. And there's something called team and technical agility. And this is the area which is so interesting for people who come from agile teams. Now, what will happen is we know agile team. Agile team is a group of people, or called as a Scrum team. Along with that, we have a Scrum Master, product owner. I'm sure most of you are aware of this stuff, right? A team. Now, this is one team. Now, if you want to have more than one team or team of teams, let's say 5 teams or 12 teams, they join together to do a common goal or common mission and vision. They fall into one area which is called as Agile Release Train. And this train can have 5 to 12 teams which conclude of 50 to 125 people work towards a common goal. Wow, that's interesting, right? And apart from that, they have a built-in quality inside the system, which is very vital. See, the terms, what I'm telling here, it's not new. It's there in the market, but nobody insisted it. But with the SAFe framework, they can making sure that, hey guys, I know your team work really well. Can you club with more number of teams and scale as if as an scaled agile team where you can deliver value continuously? See, it's not about one team delivering value. Continuously join together and start delivering the values. Whenever they say agile release train, it consists of bunch of compartments, right? It consists of bunch of, in fact, functionality teams. If you watch out here, business team is there, product management is there, hardware, software, quality, testing, compliance, operations, security. They pull every team here. So as I say, as a marriage, in a marriage, you want your uncle, aunt, vendor, relatives, friends, you put everybody together to the common goal, right? So that happens here. You try to put everybody together and everybody think the same concept. How do you do that? For that, we need some way of doing it, right? I believe some of you are aware of the agile teams. If you're not aware, it's called as cross-functional teams. What do you mean by cross-functional teams? They can define, they can build, they can deliver, they can sustain the value. Define, you can think about what they want. They can build a system, they can deliver it, they can even test it, they can sustain it. You can use a Scrum, you can use Kanban, you can use XP, whatever format you want. So now question is, Shriram, do I need to learn Scrum also? Yes, beneficial. If you want to learn Kanban, beneficial. If you want to learn extreme programming, beneficial. There is no force on you which one you have to use. It's up to you. But Scrum stands tall most of the time because of the very systematic approach towards a deliverable every 2 weeks, right? So that talks about cross-functional teams, a little bit on that area. Quickly, I'll touch some more factors, and this is what Agile Release Train all about. Agile Release Train is a very famous and new concept. They call us a train. The train consists of cross-functional teams. If you watch out here, Agile Release Train are cross-functional, cross-components, business, technology, everybody will be here. I'll give an example. If I want to do a big goal or implementation of some product or a project or a product, okay? I will have my HR department into my system. I will have my recruitment department, finance department, testing department. Everybody is there. See, most of the time when the work starts, I need to go to recruitment department or HR department. Can you give me human resource? They will tell, no, no, we have some other high priority job. We can't serve you now at this point of time. Go and come back after 2 weeks. Or give you a JD. We will search in the market and let you know. Ooh, it will kill your time. But now you are going to invite that department also under your Agile Release Train. They are also part of your goal. So they do know what is a goal, what to be delivered. They are going to run with you along with the Agile Release Train. It's a cross-functional, cross-component business and technology team all in one. So everybody going to move the same way, right? Will it work? It's working. That's what the companies are saying is amazing results, right? You have a CEO, CTO, technical architect, or enterprise architect, or HR, recruitment. Everybody's a role. They have their own role. I'm not saying that they're going to sit with your team. They'll be their role, but they do have a contribution on this Agile Release Train to move forward. So you work as a team. You all going to clap your hands at the same time. Rather, each agile team clapping at a different frequency, it don't match. You want to clap at the same hand if the goal and vision are same, right? If it's a different goal vision, it's a different thought process. Quickly on that, product delivery, yep, one other interesting factor, there is something called customer centricity and design thinking. This is a new concept. By the way, again, it is a concept available in the market for so many years, but again, nobody insisted that very well like what SAFe does. SAFe it makes sure that give more focus to the customer centricity. They call it as a persona. Understand the people's need, go to their shoes and see from their dimension what they're actually looking into. Don't force anything on them. Try to understand from their perspective. I'm sure many marketers are doing that study, but here they say that do that with full intention. They say go talk about design thinking. And if you are aware that this is called DevOps and develop on cadence, release on demand, this is the PI planning system. I'm not going to drill down further here because you want to learn it as a course. You should not learn this way where you get only a few messages of it. It should be a full flow of information. But for your understanding, customer centricity and design thinking are very important factor. And in fact, any system or any process thinks customer as a center person who we need to focus more. But how do we help them? Just keeping customer in the center will not help you, right? So let me put that point. Quickly, I know we are ending to the course time. Before that, we'll cover this topic. There's something called design thinking. We have a problem space and solution space. What it does is first understand the problem properly and then design the right solution. How do you understand the problem? You discover it, you define it. They call it as a divergent, convergent. You find the multiple options and choose the best out of it. And that's a way of understanding the problem and designing the best solution for it. If you ask me, Shriram, again, it's a new one. It's not new. It's there in the market. Again, I'm telling that it's not been rightly pressed or been mentioned that do it, but it's happening really well here to mention do it. For which they use Gemba work, persona, empathy map, story mapping, prototyping. I think only this word may be new to you, familiar to you, rest all should be new to you. These are the concepts in SAFe trainings which you will learn. When you deliver it, you deliver the desirable result for the customer. which is feasible, viable, sustainable, right? That's what you do. A clear and continuous understanding of the target market and customers, the problem. Ideally, end of day, understand what customer needs. If you don't understand customer needs, you are gone. See, I remember those days when you go to the hotel, what are the hotel bar says you have to have? No choice. Okay, you won't get much of the choice. They will say, "Sir, only this is available. We can't do anything more." But these days, the hotel is serving a different way. They come and ask you, "Sir, is the food spicy? Are you good with the spice? Can I reduce the spice and increase the spice? Is your children happy with the food what I served today? Can I make it a little more better?" You'd be surprised. Oh man, there are a lot of people in this restaurant, and this chef is coming and talking to me. That's needed, right? That's the expectation. You go to the good hotels. Next time, definitely refer some of your friends. And that's a touch people is expecting. How do you do that? That goes with customer centricity. I'm sure you're doing it, and even you feel it good about it, right? Okay, good there. One more picture. Again, this is a picture of Agile release train. For some of you, this image is a bit new. Don't get panic. When you learn as a course, when you learn as a training, you learn all the stuff. A good knowledge I'm trying to give here. You do continuous exploration, finding out what customer is looking out for continuously. Continuous integration, develop it and integrate it with the system as a continuous process. Deployment, take it to the production continuously. You can see the word continuous keep on coming. It should be a running process 24/7. You keep moving up, right? You do continuous exploration of thought process, you develop it, integrate it, and deploy it. I like this part, which is called a release on demand. What it means is you take it to the deployment or readiness to give to the customer, but you will hold it until they need it. When they say, yes, I want it, release it. And what it means is you are ready. You are ready at any time to serve the customer. Rather, only when they ask, you go and start the work, it's going to delay the process. So you're going to have everything ready in front, and when they ask, you're going to release it, right? I believe most of you coming from the IT segment know that getting to production and delivering to the customer is a big task. You will do on the day of the release, and it's going to have a trouble. Rather, you make it ready in the production and you release it when they want it. Good there. Good about this topic, and a little more factors about continuous learning culture. And this I spoke a little back and talking about you have a continuous learning system, like innovation keep happening and innovative people should be the team, and you have a team learning. It's a continuous learning process. It's a very important skill which is expected in organization leadership level, right? Anyway, that's an important factor. Okay, some of the frameworks available in SAFe, which talks about essential and large solution, portfolio level, and full configuration. It may be pretty new to you, but just to give an understanding, at the level of essential, it is good for the organization, the middle and little higher level organization. They follow the essential framework where it's sufficient to implement Agile release train, maybe one train, which has 50 to 125 people. If you want to go more number of trains, more number of big size of implementation, they go trains collection. They go more than one train. It's called solution train. Collection of trains will happen there. It's a big implementation like what Bosch is doing, right? Or Boeing is doing, the air flight system. They have a big level of implementation where they go for trains of trains. A lot of trains starts happening. This is all in the sites. I'll show that in a few minutes. And now this talks about the role. If you missed to see that in the beginning of the program, I'm repeating it again. It covers all the roles in organization when you learn SAFe. By the way, the course which we are talking here is Leading SAFe, which covers this segment, and also it covers some of the team members, Scrum Masters, or some of the product owners who also will learn the flow what I'm talking here, right? If you see here, these all each one certification, right? Everyone is one certification. There are a lot of certification, but the base is same. The concept of base will be same, but certain ingredients will be added as you move forward. Good. Do we have any questions here before I'm going to play a short video which explains the whole of Scaled Agile, the video released by Scaled Agile Framework team? Do you have any questions here? Okay, good. What I do is I'll quickly play a video. Mati is coming out. Hey, Mati.
Sriram, I have a question. See, you're talking about leading scale. So if a person wants to take up a Scrum Master role, you need to do the leading scale and then do Scrum Master, or how is that journey will be?
Yeah. Actually, the good question there. Actually, it's not needed. You can directly even go to Scrum Master or Advanced Scrum Master. You can directly learn that as well. Doesn't stop you. But again, what is the beauty of Leading Safe is it talks a big picture of LPM, Lean Portfolio Management. It shows a big architecture view, and that helps you to think a little more broader from the leadership perspective also. But if you feel that no, Shinam, I'm going to be only a Scrum Master or the Advanced Scrum Master, yes, you can straight away Scrum Master certification.
No, I mean, when you if you have to do the basics and then do another certificate called Scrum Master,
not like that. There
how
is
do
no
we?
mandate. No, there is no mandatory, Mati. You can go to any course directly. There is no dependency. There is no levels. So you're good to go directly.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Good thought. Let's go. What I'll do is I'll quickly play the video which talks about the framework as a whole. You're going to learn. This is a video released by Scale Agile community. Let's see the video as a whole. Let's get there. Where's the video? Here it is.
SAFE provides the operating system for organizations to achieve business agility through the 7 core competencies of the lean enterprise: team and technical agility, agile product delivery, enterprise solution delivery, lean portfolio management, organizational agility, continuous learning culture, and lean agile leadership. It all starts with team and technical agility, and specifically with the agile team. An agile team is a group of 5 to 11 members which can define, build, test, and where applicable, deploy value in short time boxes called iterations. The team uses agile methods like Scrum or Kanban, or a combination thereof. The team starts each iteration by planning what they can deliver in an iteration planning event. The product owner provides guidance on what needs to be built by representing the customer on the team. Every day, the team meets to discuss how they're progressing toward their iteration goals in a daily stand-up. At the end of each iteration, the team demonstrates the work they've completed in an iteration review. Before the next iteration, the team reflects on what to improve for the next iteration in an iteration retrospective. The Scrum Master is the coach of the team, helping it improve and facilitating the various events. In an enterprise, multiple teams need to work together as a team of agile teams to deliver value. In SAFE, these teams of agile teams are called an Agile Release Train, or ART, and include 50 to 125 people. ARTs are cross-functional, including all the people needed to explore customer needs and then build and deliver solutions to customers. The ART uses agile product delivery practices to deliver the right value at the right time. The ART works within a time box called a program increment, or PI, which is typically 5 iterations long. The ART follows similar events to teams. At the beginning of the PI, all teams come together to plan their work for the PI in a PI planning event. PI planning is facilitated by the release train engineer, who serves as the coach for the ART. Product management provides the vision and backlog. The system architect provides architectural guidance. The teams then plan the work for the PI, identifying what can be delivered. A program board is used to visualize the dependencies between the teams. Every iteration, the ARC demos the integrated solution across all teams in a system demo. And at the end of the PI, all teams meet to retrospect on how to improve in an inspect and adapt event. Product managers use customer centricity and design thinking to understand customer problems and discover solutions that are desirable, viable, feasible, and sustainable. The ARC builds a continuous delivery pipeline and uses DevOps practices to release on demand, delivering value when it is needed. Sometimes a single agile release train is not enough to deliver a solution, and the enterprise solution delivery competency is needed. A solution train is used to coordinate multiple ARCs and suppliers to deliver large, complex solutions. Solution management has content authority on what gets built. The solution architect oversees the architecture across ARCs. and a solution train engineer coaches and facilitates solution train events. In order to align strategy and execution, Lean Portfolio Management provides a way to create strategic themes and a portfolio vision to align solution development with enterprise strategy. Lean Portfolio Management helps enterprises organize around the delivery of value and value streams, as well as fund these value streams to avoid the problems that are typically associated with project cost accounting. Having strategy, however, is not enough. Organizational agility provides the tools that help portfolios achieve strategy agility and change direction quickly when needed, organizing and reorganizing around value. It builds the environment for flow of value across the entire enterprise and beyond solution development and helps grow lean thinking people and agile teams. Continuous learning culture drives a culture of innovation and relentless improvement to help enterprises become learning organizations. Finally, a lean enterprise is built on lean agile leadership. To achieve and sustain business agility, leaders must embody, teach, and exhibit the mindsets, values, and principles that are the basis of lean and agile. Lead by example and guide everyone toward this new way of working using the implementation roadmap as a guide. Together, these 7 competencies build the lean enterprise and make true business agility possible.
And it's a pretty fast video, but again, hope it gives some clue of the content, right? Oof. I'm seeing somebody saying no sound. Oh, when you didn't get sound. Other people got the sounds. You're able to hear the sound. Is it a problem?
Yes, Shriram.
Sound. Okay, good. Was this a video good that they're trying to cover all, but again within 5 minutes learning all this stuff, but at least give a clue what they talk about here. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay, quickly to cover up last slides before we close up for the session. Okay, the last part I want to touch base is please mute. Yeah, thank you. So the last part I want to touch base is something called implementation roadmap. They showed in the video, the last train kind of thing running up, right? So a lot of content here. What will happen is they start with waterfall and ad hoc agile. Usually most of the organization starts here. They'll decide to go for SAFe, and then they introduce the SPC, the Scaled Agile Program Consultant, and you come here as a leading SAFe, who will be a manager and leader and executive, and also you will identify the arts, and then it goes on the implementation part. Okay, I don't want to drill too much here for you, but understand that this is how things will start, and then step by step they go. Prepare for art launch, train the team, launch the art, launch more arts, extend to the portfolio, right? Yeah, Vinayak, it's only for you. You are the one facing a problem. Rest all hearing me. Maybe you can fix your mic or speaker once more. Okay, so that's the part of stuff here. And quickly, I want to regain on the stuff here because this is one of the happening certificate in the market. That's why I'm putting on leading SAFe. Of course, other certificates also are in the market available. So it's a 2 days of program which helps you to learn the course. What you saw here, it will be elaborated for 2 days with a lot of workshop. That's very important stuff. And again, some parts of examination which you want to understand. Most of the courses, what you saw, it will be of 90 minutes of exam with the 45 questions. Some exam will have a different timeline and a little more extra questions. If not, it follows the same pattern of 90 minutes and 45 questions, and 34 questions will make you pass. It's pretty could be fast and better if anybody coming from a different exam segment, so much of time consuming and heavy. This is a little better than that. Okay, when you do all this stuff, yes, Stephen is asking a question. Hey guys, do we have a simulation? Okay, that's a good question coming up, right? I'll go to the question segment. I'm expanding my chat window. Stephen is asking, are there simulations or questions to practice? Fantastic question. Stephen, in the website, what will happen is the moment we register for the course, quickly they will give you an access ID, user ID password to you. And you go to the website, they have an online exam that you can practice n number of times. It means like shuffling the question, they're giving more questions. So you no need to go third party or somewhere outside. Everything is inside the Scaled Agile community website, where you are authorized to test yourself multiple times in the simulation. So once you practice once or twice, you'll get a clue. You can go for the main exam. Hope you got that, Stephen. And Prashant is asking, trainee fee includes of exam fee. Fantastic, that's the right question. When you go for the training fee, it includes your exam fee, includes a 30 days of time. It is a packet. You go for the training, they'll give you 30 days time, write the exam. Within this 30 days, if you don't write the exam, then we have to pay the extra fee and write the exam again. But it has a minimal fee structure there, right? So it's pretty decent in that place. Good question from Stephen and Prashant. And what will happen is when you complete the course, what will happen is you will get a certificate, something like this, which is going to help you, right? Leading Safe course, which you completed on a date and certificate number and all the stuff coming up. Okay, this course is important as you progress in your career of Lean Agile principles and Lean implementation. So how the courses are happening? Question comes up, are we conducting the course? Manish is asking, I'm putting the right way. These are all virtual courses. The one course is starting, the Leading Safe is happening on May 30 and 31, which is going to be 16 hours. It is going to be weekends, that is 8 hours per day, Saturday and Sunday. It will be a virtual session. It's going to be a virtual session in the sense that you will be using any platform like GoToMeeting, Zoom, where you and me will sit like this, but there will be a lot of content to talk about it. It's 16 hours, right? We spoke only 1.5 hours now. In 16 hours, you'll have a lot of content, a lot of workshop to do. When you complete the 16th hour, you feel great. And you can read for 1 or 2 weeks and practice the questions in their website, clear the exam. You feel that, Shriram, I'm not ready for the month of May. Shall I go for June? Yeah, in June we have 9, 10, 11, 12. This is weekdays and it is 4 hours per day. They can split it into 4 days. This is also a virtual session which will go 4 hours per day and it covers 4 days and will complete the course. Later in 2 weeks, you will write the examination. This is how we do. Right, let me go to the question section. Manish is asking, conducting a program virtually. Yes, Manish, we are conducting this virtually on the online. Same what you're doing now, it's going to happen. Now, Stephen is asking a question. PMP comparison to SAFe 5.0, you are saying SAFe is much easier, 100% pass rate. Yes, Stephen, SAFe is better, easier in the sense of concepts are well-known concepts. Scrum, we know. Kanban, we know. DevOps, we know. Putting these things together at the strategy and portfolio level, art will be little new, we have to learn. PI, we have to learn, right? These two things we have to learn a little more. Rest all, most of the concepts are known concepts. When you put together, exams will be better and easy to attend when you compare to PMP. PMP is something different. It's so big also, right? You have 200 questions. Here, preparing for 45 questions. So the level of intensity will be different. Hope you got that, Stephen. Okay. Any other questions to be taken on? I know, first of all, I want to thank most of you here because we had some problem with technical defects. So I had to come out of that and open a session again. I appreciate your time to come out from that place and join here and listen to the program. And I want to make this as a program where you can learn some factors. So what are the things I try to touch out today is I start off giving you what is scaling agile. I was talking about less, I was talking about DAD, I was talking about what is mean by scaling, right? Then I spoke about what is SAFe and 5.0, leading SAFe certification, how to go for the examination, what it mean by certification. I spoke about that. Who can take the certificate? How many hours of exam? How many questions will come up? This is the points about explaining. And then I spoke about SAFe consists of agile development, lean product development, systems thinking. We saw some videos to get an idea about these 3 concepts. Then I took you to 7 core competencies. Of course, we didn't go deep inside, but we gave a clue of what it is. And teams of agile teams that we started explaining, because we know agile teams, but we may not know scaling of the multiple teams. How do you do that? You put into something called ART. ART stands for Agile Release Train. So you have teams of teams. We started putting that. Then we spoke about customer centricity. We give more focus to the customer persona, understand from their perspective. And then again, I give you a little clue about the leading SAFe certification. Hope it was helpful for some of you who are just starting the program. And again, we are planning to give some knowledge on each area at the time when we get webinars running up where you learn more concepts. But many of the IT companies and non-IT companies preferring this course, being certified, and they expect people to learn this and come to on board. And specifically, they focus more on leading safe, which covers a lot of segment, right? Okay, there's a Shivin is putting a question. Does BA have to do leading safe certification or any other specific certification that is available for product managers? PO, PM, there is a certificate, Shivin, that is also so much powerful and useful in the market. But again, leading safe is also useful because it's a common certificate done by many of us to get to the next level. So you can decide between PO, PM, or you can decide with particularly leading safe, PODM, PO product owner and product manager certification. That's also available. Great there. Hope that answers your questions. Great there. And any other questions which I can help you, feel free to reach out. It's not only this chat. I think most of you know me or somebody don't know me. Probably can get up the numbers here. We have Rahul, who is a senior executive, who tries to communicate and help people with a lot of information. And again, my number is there and group ID is there. You can reach out, or you can go to ShriLearning.com. All the calendar details will be available there. Okay, there is a question from Subramanian. That's a very good question. Do you have a validity for the certificate? Yes, it's valid for a year and you have to renew it. The renewal fee will be there and we keep renewing every year because the framework is getting upgraded recently, and you learn it and you renew it. You may not go for the exams, you will go for payment of fee, and also there is something called enablement course. Enablement course will sometimes help you to learn something what newly came in the market, because I learned 4.6 as a framework. Now it is 5.0 framework. What can you do? Let me read that enablement a few pages and click few buttons and tell that I learned it. Then they renew you. So every year you renew it. Hope it answers you, Subramanian. Good there. It's a good day there, and most of you participated. I know that a lot more questions can come up after this program also. Don't feel bad. You can reach out anytime over the WhatsApp, email, phone calls. We're happy to help. The new batch is going to start on, as I said, May 30th. We're going to have a batch which is on Saturday, Sunday, 16 hours. Post that within 2 weeks, you can complete your exam. By June, you'll be leading safe certified. That adds a lot of value. And if not, you can go for the June batch also. 2 segments are available. And still you have more questions. Shriram, I'm not getting it. Please reach out to me. Also, we're going to post this video in YouTube. Probably you can see that YouTube video. Maybe you get a clue again, because sometimes second time if you watch, you get some clarity there, right? Can happen. Good then. So with this, thanks note to everybody participated. Some of you has to drop off because of the timeline. I know that, but some of you stayed till the last minute of the program. I appreciate it. It's so much useful to share knowledge with you, and thanks for being here. And Prashant is asking a question: 2 or 4 days virtual session which will be IST hours. Yes, Prashant, these are all IST hours, Indian Standard Time, right? And I will ask team to communicate things over the email. Everybody who attended here, you will get an email with the detail of the upcoming course, fee structure, and the renewal fee structure, and timeline and the IST. Look it out and decide which is good for you and make a call, right? That's how it's going to work. Okay, sounds good. That's a great deal here. And thanks again joining here. Have a great Sunday. For the people, the day started, where in US or some places it's morning, whereas people in India, it's night. Have dinner, sleep well. I appreciate your patience to stay here and listen to the program. Let's learn more on Scale Agile Framework and coming up webinars. Thanks all for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sriram.
Subramanian.